the rhythm of somewhere is exactly the same as all the other times, right? There must be a joy somewhere. This is gonna be lovely. You sound a little sad during the acapella section, and I think it's because it's acapella, and you're like, all right, everybody, let's do it. So just be the leader, and it'll be great. Promise?
Yeah, it'll be great. Great.
There's been a request from clergy for us to try and move a little faster from the chairs to these positions. I know it's like a little discombobulating, so if you can sort of map out your roadmap from your chair to your spot, and then we can all just kind of like clockwork every time. See what happens. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but I think they're all wonderful.
Oh, good. So maybe, can I make a suggestion? Yes. Look right now at who's standing in front of you. That person has to get to their spot before you get to your spot. So I'm not going to get into this spot until Amy's where she's at. Because if I'm already standing here, she won't be able to get through. We have a traffic.
I'm not sharing the paper.
You don't have to. I give this advice for free.
Cool. I'll see you on the other side.
Yay!
Thank you. Thanks for being game for this.
You know, if I were able to come to the cabaret, I know what I would say. Or it didn't work. I think I can
Change the cabaret.
I think I can sing the hell
I'm
out
so
of
upset
that.
you won't be there.
I love that song so much. And you know what's weird? That song and
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Society of Germantown. My name is Stearns Matthews. I have the privilege of serving this congregation as its Director of Music Ministries, and we're so happy you're here. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, Love is at the Center, which is written by a member of our congregation, Emily Joy Goldberg, and appears in the UUA's new virtual hymnal, Sing Out Love, which you'll hear about more another time. Emily Joy is not with us today, but the choir is going to lead us. Words will be on the screen.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Society of Germantown. My name is Mimi Ravinas, and my pronouns are she, her. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation here to support one another as we grow our hearts and minds and affirm that another world is possible. Every Sunday, we gather in this sanctuary and online to celebrate the gift of life. We are honored that you have joined us today. Each of you is welcome here, just as you are, no matter your gender, your race, your sexual orientation, your class, family structure, employment status, or your health and ability. You will find that as Unitarian Universalists, we are diverse in our spiritual beliefs, our ritual observances, and our philosophical frameworks. You will find that some of us are atheists, some are agnostics, and some believe in a God. You will also find that each of us puts love at the center of our lives. This is our common purpose, and all are invited to join in it. All are also invited to join us for lunch after the service. Today we will enjoy Chipotle together. Exactly. And an extra big thanks to the stewardship chair for sponsoring our special lunch, who I believe is behind me. Yes. You might be visiting us for the first time. If you are, I hope you will stop at the welcome table, where Emily or Paula can answer your questions and set you up with a name tag. Greeting each other by name is part of how we build our community. If you brought kiddos with you today, please take a children's spiritual development or CSD guide from said welcome table. There is a nursery for infants and crawlers at the back of the sanctuary, and just down the hall through this door, going that way, is the wiggle room for toddlers, which is full of toys, yes, I'm looking at you all, and supervised by our staff. This feels really loud. Am I really loud? Okay, all right, great, thank you. You've heard me say this before, and you're gonna hear it again, especially if this is as loud as I think it is. I am going to share only a couple of USG announcements today. I am not going to share every one of our very important announcements from up here. If you want to be in the USG know and up to date on all the cool events going on, the best way is to subscribe to our newsletter, The Communicator. You can scan the QR code in your order of service to add your name to our distribution list. Read it each week to find out how you can plug in and how you can help out. What I will share from up here today is the following. If you've been doing the Newcomer series, this week we're offering Theology 101 with Reverend Hannah in the Sullivan Chapel at the other end of the building. That will start at 12 p.m. today. How many of you have been missing the auction? Let's see a show of hands. Several, all right. This is a long-held tradition at USG, but it went on hiatus this year. We are actually trying to supplant it as a fundraising and community event by holding a cabaret and a silent auction. So first thing you need to do is mark your calendars for April 18th. That's when the cabaret is going to be. Then you need to think about if you might want to perform, and if so, and what you might want to offer in the silent auction. Though if you're thinking about wanting to perform, you'll also want to think about what you want to perform. And then finally, I want to invite the fabulous Rick Rhodes up here to make a special announcement for the launch of our stewardship campaign this year.
Thank you, Mimi. Thank you very much. And good morning, USG. Thank you. My name, as she said, is Rick He/Him Rhodes. And I have the distinct honor of being the chair of my favorite committee here at church, the Stewardship Committee. You're going to meet all of them later on. Today is a very special day. It marks the kickoff for our Pledge Drive 2026. We're calling it Woven Together in Love. And our goal, it's a very strong goal of $415,000. Now, you're probably thinking, boy, that's a pretty ambitious goal. And it is. But I believe that spiritual strength and fiscal strength go hand in hand. It's really, together we will grow. The Stewardship Committee knows that this is a stretch, but we also know USG is doing real work here and in the community to make hope and love possible in this time of uncertainty. Now, in your pews and in the mail this week, you will see a wonderful brochure. We have a new way of describing the pledge drive this year, thanks to Lindsay Augustus. She's our communication coordinator. This contains all of the important information about the drive. For example, it talks about the amazing growth USG's had in the last year. It says we have 68 kids registered in our CSD programs. Phenomenal. It says Stearns' leadership has grown our choir immensely in the last year. Yay, choir. And I think you see new faces every week, and we welcome anyone and everyone to join us. Sam, I know you have a great voice, and we'll hear that later on. And finally, the pews, the congregation, the services are full, the parking lot's full, Sunday in and Sunday out. Certainly, our church is in a period of growth, which is phenomenal. The brochure also addresses important questions. For example, who can pledge? Well, members should pledge. And yes, non-members can pledge. We encourage them as well. And we also encourage non-members to become members. Why not? It talks about how much to pledge. 2/3 of the church budget, of the pledge, goes to the church budget, over $400,000. That's critical. That provides us the staff, the building. It does all the programs. Very important to us making our budget, which needs to be approved in a couple months. So 2/3 of that budget. We're asking people to consider a mini stretch of 3 to 5% increase over last year. And if you really want to take a walk on the wild side, for those of you that increase your pledge by 30% or more, you'll qualify for a match program. And that will be described when you get your mail this week. So bottom line, no pledge is too small, and of course, no pledge is too big. And the final question, maybe the most important question, how to pledge. There are a lot of ways to pledge. There's a QR code. You can email us. You can text us. You can come up to one of the committee members after Sunday service and whisper your number in our ear. We'll take any form of communication. But we do know this. Studies have shown that when you pledge, you significantly improve your love life. What? Oh, I'm getting you. Really? I'll show you the studies later on. So I better get off of the stage before I get hooked. Yeah, I'm getting the hook. The last thing I'll say, we want to see everyone upstairs. There will be the debut of the Stewardship Committee's choir called the Fab Five. So we'll see you upstairs. Thank you.
And now,
Is there? Keep going.
or not,
No, keep going. Keep going. Don't stop on my account.
and now, as we deepen into worship, I ask that you silence your cell phones, but not your children. Their sounds are welcome here. Take it away, Reverend Han.
Rick holding it down for the dad jokes. Always. I love it. Good morning, USG. My name is Reverend Hannah Capaldi. I use she, her pronouns, and it is my honor to serve this congregation as your minister. If you walked in and did not receive a strip of fabric, how many of you have a strip of fabric? Yes, yes. If you did not, there's a basket up at the front. Carolyn can pass you one. And there's also a strip in the back. You'll see this lovely loom that Mike Rogers and Howard Silver built us. That's going to be part of our weaving ritual later, woven together in love. So get excited. We're going to be weaving. So you'll need your strip of fabric for that. Choir, do you all have your? Okay, great, great. Our call to worship today comes from the Reverend Leah Ongiri. Here we are together, each facing our different human tasks, or maybe the same central one: to embrace the lessons life delivers, to discern and respond as we grow, to refuse harm and cherish flourishing. May we know ourselves as vessels of infinite possibility, holders of each other's heartaches and tales of joy alike, weavers of one story in which we each have our part. So come, let us worship together.
Now I'd like to invite Lisa Heinrich and Marielle Duplessis up to light our chalice today. The symbol of our shared Unitarian Universalist faith, we join with congregations around the country and the world in our ritual lighting. Please read with me the words printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and our service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Okay, it's our time for all ages. So can I have all the kiddos up at the front? And as we like to say, the young at heart. Or maybe the minders. The minders and the... You're the first one here? Oh my gosh. Ooh. Cool, Quinn. I love that. Oh. Okay, so there should be an image. Great, okay. Everybody's ready? Okay, cool. The picture you see up on the screen there is a textile from the Navajo people, or the Diné. And how many of you know that the Navajo people, they're Native Americans, they're a tribe in Native America. They are very, very famous weavers. Did folks know this? I learned this by watching Antiques Roadshow. A very riveting show on public broadcast that you all should check out sometimes with your grandparents. And I learned about how fabulous weaving is in Navajo culture. But one of the things that I have since learned recently is that there's lots of different styles of Navajo weaving that span different times of Navajo life, right? Especially during displacement and relocation, because we know that Native Americans in America were told they couldn't live where they wanted to live or where they had lived forever, and they were moved to something called reservations. How many of you also know that Germantown has a history as a yarn-producing hub? So Germantown here has a very rich and deep history as a place where basically industrialized yarn production was invented. So here is where they made it easy and fast and quick to take wool from sheep, to clean it, to comb it, and to make it into yarn that they dyed, that then could be used to make things like Navajo weavings. And there is a distinct period in Navajo history in which the tapestries are referred to as Germantown textiles. So it's a bit of a complicated story, a complicated exchange, because some of that mechanization was the result of displacement. Some of that mechanization and industrialization was also made for the Navajo people being able to retain their ancestral arts on the move, because they basically couldn't always make yarn at the same rate that they were being forced to move. So Germantown yarn was incorporated into that. It was also a lot more brightly colored, and it made for much more interesting. This actually is not from the Germantown time period, but I just thought it was a nice example of Navajo weaving. One thing about Navajo weavings is that it's a spiritual practice to weave. They include stories into the geometric patterns. Their cosmology is woven into it. And I like to think about what we're going to be doing later is a similar thing, weaving with every strand an idea about who we are and what our history is here as a congregation. So even though Germantown and the Navajo Nation were far apart, they became connected by yarn. The blankets and rugs still had the same special patterns and meanings, but they could include brighter colors and different textures. And I like to think about the ways that the web of American history here in Germantown connects us all over to different forms of art making and storytelling and preservation of culture in the face of destruction and despair. So, you all are going to be weaving today in class. Did you know that? No. Now you do. You're going to be making your own little looms, and you're going to be weaving little things. So, we're actually going to send you off to get started on that, because I think you're probably more excited to do that than sit here. So, with that, let's sing you off with Go Now in Peace. What, Roman? Definitely, a great idea. I can show you one maybe later today on my phone. Yeah? Okay, I'll find you in lunch. Great. Good question. Okay, let's sing you all. Off.
In my 20s, I lived in Seattle, with my mother living just across the Puget Sound. I'd often head to her house on a Saturday morning, returning sometime Sunday afternoon. Mostly, we'd go on outings, watch movies, talk. But sometimes, we'd go to Sunday service. She'd found a home for herself at the local Unitarian Universalist church. I was not a churchgoer. In fact, I wanted nothing to do with organized religion. But on choir Sundays, it was non-negotiable. While I preferred the visits without church, going wasn't awful. My mother happily paraded me around. I'd say hello to lots of people I didn't know, but who seemed genuinely pleased to meet me because they loved my mom. The minister did not preach a specific dogma at me, which I appreciated. We'd sing, and then we'd go home. Mostly, it was comforting to me to know that she had this community, particularly during the holidays. She was living alone. I spent Thanksgivings with my father. It was a huge gift to me knowing she would spend that meal sharing a fancy potluck dinner with people she loved and who loved her. In my 30s, we moved to Miami to be near Adrian's parents. While I'd loved it as a college student, because I had been there before, as an adult who loved mountains, hiking, seasons, West Coast friendliness, and quiet, it was a very hard transition. My college friends had moved away. I was working as a temp, so no work family. Adrian's big, beautiful, and loud Cuban family was wonderful, but so very different from the one I'd grown up in. I felt pretty lost. And then I literally got lost, taking a wrong turn. And I kid you not, that literal wrong turn led me into a wooded area with a beautiful building in the middle of it that just happened to be a UU church, 5 minutes from our apartment. I wasn't seeking religion, but I knew from my Seattle days that there I could find community without dogma. Adrian and I were in our pre-kid days then. We joined the choir, singing on Sundays and providing entertainment for the annual fundraising gala. I joined the CSD team, teaching 1 Sunday a month, and I helped out with multiple events. It was a time for me to find community by actively supporting others and sharing my talents. When our own baby arrived, our first one, things shifted. The congregation blanketed me in love, dedicating prayer to us when Emily was an early and emergency birth, dropping food on our doorsteps for weeks after, not minding a car sitting in the parking lot with its windows down so that the parents of a preemie baby could be part of candlelight Christmas Eve carols, even when they couldn't bring that baby indoors. By the time we moved to Pennsylvania, we were not particularly active. Meeting people through kids' activities, community built quickly for us in other ways. But as we joined our local UU for that first Christmas Eve pageant, I felt a hole. Celebrating this special night with kind people, but people I didn't know and who didn't know me. So, of course, we became regulars. With a 6 and a 2-year-old, we had the schedule freedom to spend long Sunday mornings, but the energy and mental capacity for almost nothing. The greatest gift my UU community gave me in those years was 1 blissful hour a week of adult quiet and reflection. COVID came, and with church being one more online event in our lives, we stopped attending. Until Easter, 3 years ago, when I felt another hole, a desire to share community on holidays, but also a desire to be challenged, and for my girls to learn more about the world. Enter USG. As some of you know, my girls engage in numerous activities as they pursue their passions, but neither of them has a driver's license. On the one hand, I have never been more booked with chauffeur duties than I am today. On the other, their growing independence leaves me with more mental and spiritual capacity to care for our broader world. Today, USG gives me a place to share that capacity, to be inspired, and to be challenged to use that capacity both more and with more intention. The threads of Unitarian Universalism are woven into my adulthood and into my children's youth, sometimes forming a primary picture in the tapestry of my life, at other times creating a beautiful background, at still others showing up as just a tiny wisp of color on the edge. The first of those threads wove itself into my life 30 years ago in Seattle. I'm really, really glad my mom was committed to choir Sundays. Today, we are reminded, the offertory, I don't have it written here. Let's find out. Our Share the Plate recipient this week is the Veterans Multi-Service Center. For directions to donate, refer to the back of the order of your service cover. If you prefer to donate in cash or check, ushers will be coming through shortly.
I want to invite you into a posture of prayer or meditation. Find your feet on the floor. Come into your body. So feel your breath, fill your belly, feel your diaphragm expand, feel your chest rise. Fill your lungs with fresh air. Exhale fully. And on that exhalation, feel your shoulders drop. Feel your jaw loosen. Feel yourself relax. Find stillness. Become present. Can you feel your heart beating? And even as your mind races, let those thoughts pass through as fast as they need to. Big, deep breath in, filling your lungs. Exhale completely. We weave a web of love here at USG. And before we pray together with our intentions and our attention all knitted up, I invite you to think of these people with our shared prayers. Today we pray for Janet Perper, who was briefly hospitalized and endured a few procedures to get her back into fighting shape. We lift her in prayer today in honor of her strength and fortitude. For Sarah Frazier, who's been enduring pain and physical discomfort in her shoulder and face, made worse by a dismissive doctor. We lift her as she navigates healing and balances so much in her life. For Maggie Chapman, who's been struggling with waves of anxiety, we hold her in love and a grounded sense of comfort in her place in this congregation and this community. We lift with love Amanda Benson, who lost her beloved husband, Justin Nagtalon, to a sudden onset health crisis just 2 weeks ago. In her time of deep grief, we lift her in compassion and love, catching her when she falls. Deep breath in. For all the sadness and anxiety, for the fears we all carry, for ourselves and our families, our loved ones. Exhale completely. All that we can do with our lives and all that we cannot. Our prayer today comes from the Reverend Tara Humphreys. Spirit of life and love, we are here today because we believe what we do matters. We are here today because we believe how we live our life matters. That with every act of kindness or meanness, courage or fear, love or hate, we are weaving the fabric of the universe that holds us all. We are here because we need encouragement, because we need strength, because so often we get distracted, we get in a rush, we don't think, we choose the easy way, when the harder path is what our spirits truly long for. We are here because none of us is perfect, but together we inspire one another to try again, to take another step. We are here because we have felt the stirrings of love and grace in our hearts and hands, and we crave more of that for ourselves, and not only for ourselves, for everyone. We are here because how we live matters. May it be so, and amen.
Today's reading is Safety Net by Rosemary Watola Trommer. This morning I woke thinking of all the people I love and all the people they love and how big the net of lovers. It felt so clear, all those invisible ties, interwoven like silken threads, strong enough to make a mesh that for thousands of years has been woven and rewoven to catch us all. Sometimes we go on as if we forget about it, believing only in the fall. But the net is just as real. Every day, with every small kindness, with every generous act, we strengthen it. Notice, even now, how as the whole world seems to be falling, it is there for us as we walk the day's tightrope, how every tie matters.
I hear someone squawking. I was heartened to see so many of you sort of like getting into it when the choir was singing. It's like, we're getting there. We're getting there. Everyone, we're all going to loosen up one day. One day we're all going to loosen up. Rosemary Watola Trommer, she writes in her poem Safety Net about the idea of this mesh that rests underneath us all, that's there to catch us, woven by the strands of the interdependent web of life. That's how I think about it, the interdependent web of life, woven and connected at nodes by love, by an insistence on what we do with our life matters. We weave the net together, the safety net. And life can certainly feel like a balancing act. Certainly these days, we are all aware of how much closer we are to hunger and homelessness than we are to billionaire status. I've been thinking about this net a lot recently. I'm afraid of heights. I'm the kind of person who can barely get on a ladder. I'm so afraid of heights. We went to the Unrivaled basketball game a month or so ago, and the only tickets we could afford were the nosebleeds, literally 2 rows down from the top of the Xfinity Arena. And I had vertigo for the first 10 minutes of the game because it's pitched at such a way that I was like, I can't have a beer. I might fall off the arena. And it was hard to relax. It was hard. It was hard to relax. I'm pretty afraid of heights. And in this last year of my life, I've taken a lot of big risks. I've changed a lot, and at times I feel that I have been in free fall. And it has been Unitarian Universalism. It has been my faith that has allowed me to keep risking, keep living, knowing that there is a net to catch me. A net woven by the ties of my family, by the ties of my friends, by the ties of this community, by the ties of my faith. Safety nets are important, not only because they allow you to take big risks, but they also allow you to just pick your head up and look beyond the next step. They allow you to stay soft and open to possibility. They allow you to unclench, become present, knowing that should you slip, which we all do, should you become distracted, should you get laid off, should your car break down, should your mother die, there is a net to catch you. Every small kindness, with every generous act, we strengthen it. I've been thinking a lot about the social safety net, what little there is left of it. And I've been thinking about the ways in which USG is a site of a social safety net. I'm thinking about the ways we weave that net together with your pledges and your financial contributions. We have ensured that folks have a meal every Sunday. One meal they can rely on, that they eat alongside other people. I've been thinking about the safety net when we paid a gas bill this year for someone who was about to have their gas shut off. I was thinking about the safety net with the rent we've covered for some of you, young folks out of work. Thinking about the daycare payments we've made for some of you to get you through hard times as you balance full-time work and full-time school. I'm thinking about the safety net of giving parents 1 hour of quiet adult time to preserve your sanity. I've thought about the safety net we've made for the elders who look at one another and go, it's hard to feel invisible. I used to be so vital. And now they look right through me. I think about the safety net we've made for our kids who get affirmed in who they are and how they are in the world, whether they need endless fidgets or to wear dresses when someone told them they should wear pants. The way they're taught that their lives matter and they should dream big and hope big for the world to change. I've thought about that safety net, that spiritual safety net that we provide each and every one of you and myself in allowing you to dream big and hope big, to hold hope against despair. We weave that safety net together, the spiritual net, the social net, the financial net. One of the lessons I learned in Minneapolis was about getting local, getting small, focusing in on when the institutions we have long held trust in have abandoned us. We won't. We'll take care of each other. When SNAP benefits get cut off, when schools can't afford supplies, when formula is out of reach, We'll take care of each other here. And it is mind-blowing to think about how expensive life is these days. The tickets I could afford were the second row from the top. That's the worst seat I've ever sat in my life, okay? And I know it feels impossible sometimes to think about what we are asking you to do, just another check to write. But we are not just another check to write. We are not the same as your Spotify subscription fee. We are not the same as your parking fee, your parking tickets. We are not the same. What we're doing here is different, profoundly different. And yeah, it costs money, it costs a lot of money. It costs $12,000 a week. It costs $12,000 a week to keep this place running. But one of the profound acts of mutuality about this is that it's not just about what you get out of it. Because we will be there for you no matter what happens, right? We will be there for you with meals when your chemo starts. We will be there for you with rides when your cataract surgery takes a long time to recover from. We will be there for you when you can't make rent. But you're also a just employer. One of our staff members this year was unceremoniously kicked off of family health insurance, and you all ensured that we had the money in the budget to cover that. She got on health insurance right away. There's a lot about this place that is expensive. And at the end of the day, I think it's worth it. And all I can ask is that you think it's worth it too. And that what you experience here has a sort of priceless quality to it because it exists outside that market, that transactional quality. So I ask you to think hard about what you might be able to give this year, what your pledge might be, so that we can keep showing up for each other, catching each other when we fall, urging each other on towards hope in the face of despair. We weave that net with every kindness and every generous act. And now we're going to literally weave. In a ritual act of weaving, I'm going to bring this loom over here. Hold on. You got it. Okay. Okay, this was made for me by Howard Silver and Mike Rogers this week. So can we give them a hand? Yeah, for us. I mean, that my request. I was like, build me a loom, you know. Yeah, no. And Zoe's really excited about the possibilities for using it in CSD. And I mean, I think it'll be around for a long time. I'm hoping we can come up with lots of different ways to use it. And last night, I'll have you all know, I hand-ripped every strip of cloth you're holding while I caught up on my reality television. And so we're going to ask that you come up and you weave. We're going to weave together. I'm going to borrow this for a second. You're going to take it in between every strand. So over one, under one, over one, under one. And then at the end, you're going to push it down. And we're going to see what it looks like at the end. And I've got a couple quilters on hand to help me finish it off at the end. And we'll figure out what we might do with it, where we might hang it. But I think it could be cool. And maybe we'll add to it. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll ask you guys to line up and come on up. And maybe choir, do you want to take it from this side? Sure. Okay. And then it's an experiment. We'll figure it out. So starts as we sing, and we're going to process, and we're going to weave something together. I gotta get a Jimmy.
I think the
Yeah, Dave, take it away.
We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our hearts and our minds. We are weaving the bright and dark threads of our journeys through.
We are weaving our lives. We are weaving a blanket of light. We are weaving a basket to hold all that's true. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our hearts and our minds. We are weaving the bright and dark threads of our journeys through. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving a blanket of light. We are weaving a basket to hold all that's true. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our hearts and our minds. We are weaving the bright and dark threads of our journeys through. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving a blanket of light. We are weaving a basket to hold all that's true. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our hearts. We are weaving our hearts. We are weaving the bright and dark weaving the journeys. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving a blanket. We are weaving a blanket. We are weaving a basket. We are weaving a basket. All that's true. All that's true. We are weaving our lives.
our lives. We are weaving our hearts and our minds. We are weaving the bright and dark threads of our journeys through.
We are weaving our lives. We are weaving a blanket of light. We are weaving a basket to hold all that's true. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our hearts and our minds. We are weaving the bright and dark threads of our journeys through. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving a blanket of light. We are weaving a basket to hold all that's true. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our hearts and we are weaving our hearts. We are weaving a basket. We are weaving the bright and dark threads of journeys. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving a blanket. We are weaving a blanket. We are weaving a basket. We are weaving a basket. All that's true. We are leaving our lives. We are weaving our hearts and our minds. We are weaving the bright and dark threads of our journeys through. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving a blanket of light. We are weaving a basket to hold all that's true. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.
It's moving, guys. You're moving. You won't be here all day. I know. And you don't have to sing. You're good? You're good? Okay, okay, great.
Are weaving our lives.
Are weaving our lives.
Are weaving our hearts and
Are weaving our hearts.
we are weaving the
We are weaving the bright and dark threads of journeys.
threads of our journeys through. We are weaving our lives. We are weaving a blanket of light. We are weaving a basket to hold all that's true. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.
He Stearns.
Sometimes that's true.
Do you guys want to come to the back? There's 2 lines.
Beautiful. I present to you the world's largest pot holder. But I hope you all enjoyed that. It was really beautiful to see so many hands making it work all at once. What seemed kind of simple ended up looking kind of intricate. And each of you contributed one strand, one string, an act of kindness, and an act of generosity. So thanks for doing that with me. In the interest of time, because our kiddos are waiting, we're going to extinguish our chalice, and then I'm going to benedict you, but we are not going to sing our final hymn. We've had a lot of singing already, and there will be more song at lunch, if you can believe it. So,
I would like to invite back up Lisa Heinrich and Marielle Duplessis to extinguish our chalice now. Please join me in the words printed in your order of service or up on the screen. We extinguish our chalice, but the flame remains in us as we live into the mission of this congregation, building beloved community with compassion, service, and empowerment.
know that we are here to catch you if you fall, that you can look up with hope, up at the horizon. You don't have to be quite so focused down at one foot in front of the other, that tightrope walk of life so many of us are doing these days. Know that the safety net of Unitarian Universalism is there to catch you. The safety net of USG is there to hold you, and that we weave it together. And with that, we kick off our pledge drive of 2026. May it be so, and amen.